Okay, now we're going. Hey, we're going down this direction. Going to be a lot more quieter. Say hello, Sharon.
Hello, Sharon.
Hey, we're also getting a lot of fleas that are coming out this morning, but
They're
hopefully it
not
won't attack
fleas,
us.
they're gnats.
Exactly, gnats. Get rid of those gnats.
Yeah,
But
that's what you get when you get to the Savannah area. You get these stupid gnats that are just as irritating as possible. See, this it's because they're cutting that grass down there, I'll bet you.
I bet you it is too.
Stirring them all up.
Exactly. So Sharon calls this a walk talk. I call it a taking the journey. She calls it a walk talk. Hey, you guys take your time, post us whenever you can. We're getting a lot of people reviewing this, and you tell us, should we call this what she wants it? Walk talk? You got one in my mouth. Or the nice long one called taking the journey.
How about a taking the journey walk
Okay. Hey, that's a good compromise.
talk?
Both together. Hey, we're going to be talking about today. What we're going to be talking about? I
Submission.
forgot. Oh, wow. Bad word in relationships. Submission. Especially when it comes to sister girl. In
Yeah.
her way
I ain't
of thinking.
submitting
She
to
don't submit.
no man.
No, well, there you go.
No man.
And you know, most brother men, or some men figured, you know, we're trying to be across all cultures and all that stuff. Figured we ain't submission to some women at all, if not no women. We might submit to our mamas being the most, but anyone else, no. So
And
we
some
don't.
won't even do that.
Thank you. So we're going to talk about that day. What is really submission? What is that really all about?
Hmm.
Things that make you go.
Go. Yes.
Yeah, I got real quiet on this one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. And it's a ponder moment.
It is. While you're pondering, we're pondering, and the bugs are like eating us up to at the same
Exactly.
time. So,
So,
oh, you want to start first then?
yeah. So, submission has to do with acceptance, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think I think I think sometimes people have the wrong impression of submission. I've had the wrong impression of submission.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you 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 get this negative that is connected to um, doing what somebody else wants,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not gonna do what nobody else wants me to unless I want to, which
Mm-hmm.
is kind of a narcissistic, self-centered attitude.
Oh, it
But
is.
we all start off that way, I think.
Little babies, I guess.
Um, no, we grow into that because a lot of times we have parents in situations. We have parents, we have teachers, we have church, and they're all telling us what we can and cannot do. And
Mm-hmm.
then when, and it's not necessarily how we feel about it or what we want to do, and but we go along. And so
Mm-hmm.
as soon as we get to an adult age,
Mm-hmm.
we make that decision. Now I can do whatever I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then we get into a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not just what you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
it has to be what we want to do. So sometimes somebody has to submit at one time or another. And it's not necessarily capitulation. You
Mm-hmm.
find that um, area where you can be agreeable and you say, okay, I'll submit to that. Or you say, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, listen, she's doing all the talking right now,
Here, let
if
me
you can
hold
believe this. Okay, she wants to hold it now. So, hey,
Whoop.
she's actually got her hand in the way of the camera. Huh. See,
I,
if you're going to do this
I,
right,
I
you're
know.
going to have to go on my side. So submit
Okay.
to me now.
I'm submitting. I'm submitting. How do we
Grab the
do this?
camera like
Grab,
this.
grab the
There you
camera.
go.
Okay.
Now keep walking. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Now see, this is new to me, so
yeah, I know. Well, you just got to
I'm
keep
gonna
me.
take these little baby steps.
I'm just stay close to you, so
Okay.
until you do that. I think also too when you look at seminity too,
Oh.
we can pick up the pace just a little bit.
Okay. I'm.
It has to do also with
Here we
when you
go.
think of the word two ways, submitting. I look at the last part, admitting, as for admission, letting in, job, concert,
Allowing.
bar, allowing someone to get in. Let's admit them.
Mhm.
Okay, let's admit them. And then I look at the sub, meaning this is something that's under that, meaning it's more than that. Hey, I'm just making this one up, but I think that's how it should be. Submitting. I'm doing something more
Oh, this
than
is
just,
hard on the
it
arm.
is. I'm doing something more than just admitting. I am going under that idea that I should be able to submit to you or connect to you or admit that you have rights to me. I'm doing that sub part. That means you will have more to me than just me being able to touch you, more than just you just live to me. Maybe we should talk about, maybe submitting has to do with, maybe I want to give you a right to my very soul, my very being of who I am.
Yeah.
Could submitting be on that level, or is that right there talking about now you're getting me where you want me to sell my soul to the devil, which is you? What do you think about that?
Well, you know, if that's the case, then why would you be with somebody who you consider the devil? First of all, I've got short arms too.
Yeah, I know.
That's the other thing.
I'm just saying.
So I know, but no, I mean, submitting does not mean that you're going to agree with everything, that you're going to give in all the time into everything. Submitting is a give and take. Sometimes I submit to you, sometimes you submit to me. It's one of those, what is that saying? Submit one to the other.
That's a biblical saying, yeah. You say the
so,
Bible. I'm sorry.
I know, I'm walking off the
But
side.
again, wouldn't you think submitting is more than, hey, you can drive my car today because both the cars are in my name, your name, or because I'm married to your boyfriend or girlfriend, you can drive my car, I'm submitting to let you drive the car. Don't you think it's more than just a passive connection between material things and physical things? Don't you think there's an area that has to do with your intellect, that has to do with your feelings, that has to do with your belief system, that's part of your very soul, that you should be comfortable to be open to submit, to give, to let someone admit to in your life?
It should be. It should be. But submission has this negative stereotype.
When you get time stop sign. I mean, stop, I'll get it.
Submission has this negative stereotype associated with it, though. Well, we've never been down here. I didn't know this went all the way back here.
No, there's a little back area right here.
Yeah.
I think it goes right down to that back area where the water and stuff is. But anyway.
Okay, I had my moment, so
Okay.
let's get back on. I think submission has a negative connotation, a negative attitude, because people really don't want to.
Switch over, I'll get it.
Because people really don't understand or want to be.
Oh, excuse me.
or want to be.
Want to be what?
Don't want to take other people into consideration. I'm sorry, I got trapped into
looking in the neighborhood that we never walked in
the
before.
Neighborhood that's like 2 blocks from us that we never come into.
Yeah, you ain't kidding me.
Yeah, and so because of that, it has been made negative. And in addition to that, there are people who have taken advantage of that submission to me.
I was hoping you were going to roll into that cultural
Yeah.
condition, especially sometimes in the black community. Outside of that, we're talking about black community, that's what we know more to do with us, is that there's that stereotype or cultural condition that says, hey, when it comes to submission, I cannot really do that with a black man or a man of color. Well, I say black man, I had to stop there because of the fact that he ain't never been good for me anyway. With the years of single parentness, I came out of a single parent family, so I'm a fatherless father and a fatherless son. So there is that continuous attitude, whether it's by real experience or whether it's by stereotype, that a black man's not going to stay in your relationship anyway as being a father. So therefore, why would I think about doing that traditional or that ideal, quote, quote, ideal submission or submitting to some black man in the first place? I can do everything myself anyway. Being an independent woman, which is still a cool thing, have my own job, could do my own thing. I don't really need to submit to him. What's your thought on that? Because that is you can't even say it's an urban legend. You can't even say that it's also I think it's somewhat the stereotype, but maybe the vote is out on that. What do you think?
I agree with that. And there are a lot of situations that you can look to where black men who have not had any area that they can have control over, or they have no area that they can feel empowered in. One of the areas in which they see as an area where they can have power is over a woman who they see as a lesser individual, and they have subsequently taken advantage of that situation and helped to perpetuate the negative stereotype associated with submission.
Yes.
And those are the situations and the ideologies and things that we hear about, the ones that they write books about, the ones that
Make movies.
they make movies about, family members talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones, not the ones where it's a give and take submission situation.
You're submitting one to another in
Exactly.
this case, yes.
Where today I may submit to you on everything, tomorrow I may submit to you on nothing, but
Ooh, well, yeah, there you are. I didn't submit to you. There you are. Nope.
That's okay.
I'm just giving out.
We have definitely, while we're out today, got to find a selfie stick before next week when we do this.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think
if we still do this, no, I'm just joking.
we will. But I think that's one of those situations that we have that we have to get over or overcome, I guess is a better term. Overcome when it comes to the term or the idea of submission. Either that or we have to coin a new phrase. But as we know, coining new phrases or words don't necessarily work.
True.
Look how long certain people have been refusing to submit to the idea of not using the N-word in any form. And they have been trying to say, well, we can change this letter and change that letter, and we can work it around this way.
We're talking about the word called nigga, or niggas.
Yeah, which is all stupid. But at any rate, people have been refusing to submit to that, and look where that's gotten them.
Yeah. I think we also should run into the gamut that has to do with looking at my arm falling off, but looking at no, I'll keep it from there.
You sure?
Yeah. How about getting under the word? How about getting under the word?
Explain what you mean by under
the
word.
Getting under the word would have to do with what is the reason why we have a hard time of actually thinking that it's okay to actually submit or admit someone into a life very deeply one to another in the first place. Do we talk about it in the area that maybe, especially with people of color, African Americans, that maybe behind it could be some self-hate? Well, I don't really like me, then I don't like people that look like you, whether you're male or female, and therefore it's going to be hard for me to trust you. Trust has everything to do with submitting to. I mean, what about that one? Again, getting under this.
I think that might have something to do with it, but I also think that it has to do with a lot of the negative ways in which that word has been used. When we look at the way black people have been treated with the police, we are expected to submit to the police. We are expected to submit to authority. We are expected to submit to adults as children. And
how's that cross into a relationship?
Because those are not always positive experiences. That's part of that baggage you take with you.
So you figure if you in turn are having a bad experience with the police, which historically we know that goes way back for black people, especially black men, to be honest with, not for young black men, that in turn you carry that in your relationship and you say, well, that means I'm not going to submit to my wife. I'm not going to submit to that particular man because he's like the police.
Yeah, because it could be that attitude of you're taking away my free will. And people often look at submission as removing their free will.
Wow, that is exciting to hear that, or should I say that's troubling to hear that, because you can also look at the other side, that since you already have a free will in the first place, it could be really a choice that you make in the area of submitting or admitting to someone as one of your choices.
But sometimes if you make the wrong choice, you end up without.
There's no doubt about it. But I'm going back to your scenario dealing with the police. Most of us black folks for all these years figure when it comes to the police, we are helpless in that matter. We have no choices in that matter but to submit. But in reality, our spirituality, or whatever you may want to call it, we always have the power to choose, period. Whether that is in turn making the choice of your life being taken or not, you always still have the power to choose. So in a relationship, it's the same thing. You've got the power to choose yes or no.
Yeah, you do. But if you have had that.
Hey, we're going 15 minutes all the time. We are close to the 15-minute mark, so you better say your last words, and then we're going to go ahead and get this up.
Okay, my last words on this
Mm-hmm.
is you need to. I think this is one of those things that has to be looked at as um, how do I feel about it, and what baggage do I have, or what negativity do I have
Mm-hmm.
associated with that word submission,
Mm-hmm.
and submitting and bringing submission into my relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And to take this further, when we post this,
Mm-hmm.
put your ideas and your thoughts and your comments up there so we can continue this and keep it going.
All right.
This is just the beginning.
All right. Take care. Hey, remember, if you want to do ideally and equally, do it maybe as the biblical word says, if you may want to say. And there's probably other religions who say the same thing, which is submit one to another. Why don't we try that instead? Hey, take care. Until next time, peace and ashe.
Ashe.